The WNBA has plenty happening on the court right now, but somehow the biggest conversations are happening everywhere except the basketball itself. Ryan Clark has now responded to Stephen Jackson, Royce White, Enes Kanter, and others after their comments about the league and the issues surrounding it. And that matters because the actual basketball has been ridiculous, with players like Kelsey Mitchell putting up strong performances and Olivia Miles making an immediate impact as a rookie. A'ja Wilson continues to play at an elite level, Chelsea is producing, and Caitlin Clark, even after a slow start, has put together some monster games over roughly the last month. So even the player receiving the most attention is currently playing at a very high level. That is why some people believe the on-court product is getting buried underneath all the other WNBA controversy. The conversation has shifted toward trans issues, social media arguments, and the situation involving Dejon Carrington and Sophie Cunningham. Carrington tweeted about white privilege after her hard foul on Cunningham resulted in an ejection, while she also had a back and forth with A'ja Wilson. But the argument from the other side is pretty straightforward. If you commit a foul like that, getting ejected is part of what can happen. Now the discussion has moved beyond that incident because Stephen Jackson has weighed in, Royce White and Enes Kanter have had their say, and Ryan Clark is responding to all of it. Meanwhile, the league is trying to build on years of work from its players, with the TV contracts finally coming through and the WNBA reaching a much bigger stage. Yet instead of the basketball dominating the conversation, these disputes are taking over the headlines. And that's exactly what Ryan Clark is addressing with his response to Stephen Jackson and the others. So before getting into everything else, let's look at what Stephen Jackson said and then hear Ryan Clark's response to him and the other people who have been making these arguments.
Anybody who thinks a man should play women's sports, a born man should play women's sports, you're an idiot. You are an idiot, bro. You are an idiot. I don't care who you are. You ain't got to talk to me. You can be mad at me. I don't talk to none of y'all anyway. None of y'all. I don't talk. You are an idiot. Anybody thinks a born man should be playing women's sports, you are an idiot. And you are an insecure person. Okay? 9 out of 10 times, that ain't nothing but a play because motherfuckers not good enough to play with men. You want to just say you a woman and go play with women to try to dominate? That's whack. And you know what it is? It's mostly white men that ain't got no athleticism because we've been dominating basketball and sports, even our women dominating it. Now y'all want to try to put y'all men in women's sports to dominate it because we dominate basketball? Man, I know the play. But anybody who thinks this shit is cool is an idiot, straight idiot. I said.
Yeah, I think Kathy Engelbert has to start as the commissioner to look at this thing from a professionalism standpoint when it comes to the WNBA, which in my opinion was started with her and her dealings with the WNBA and their union as they were trying to get some of these deals done. The way she treated them. Nafisa Collier had to come out and say, okay, this is the way that I was responded to. I think that was the first black eye, but then you do this deal after 30 years and now they are getting paid to be professionals and you do have the TV contracts and now you're putting yourself in a position to uplift this league, right? For this league to truly ascend in the eyes of the viewers, in the eyes of the fans, and then every week is some bull crap, right? We're seeing players who don't even average 10 points a game. And every day, that's who's on your networks or on your TVs and answering questions and starting back and forths about things that aren't basketball. What should be being talked about in this league is the Minnesota Lynx and Olivia Miles, who's come in as a rookie and taken over the league. And now Nafisa Collier is back, right? Kayla McBride hits 10 threes over the weekend. Talk about that. You know, talk about the Golden State Valkyrie, who now with Gabby Williams is a team that's there in second place as an expansion team. Oh, by the way, A'ja Wilson still hoops. The Las Vegas Aces are still good. And Chelsea Gray does something phenomenal every single week as the point guard. Like, talk about that. And two, be real. Indiana matters, right? You got Kelsey Mitchell, this woman getting like a PhD and hitting 30 a game. And then you got Caitlin Clark, who, yes, no matter what anybody says, it could be different ways, right? She could be one of the faces of the league, and you can acknowledge that she still has to get better at basketball, but that she matters. And so to me, it's about pushing the right things, not only if you're the executives, but the players as well. Talking about the right things, making sure the right things are in the forefront of people's minds. And the last thing for me is if we are men right? And as former athletes, and we understand how hard it is to get respect in the game, don't make a mockery of what these women are going through. Don't make jokes about things you'll never understand. Stay out of it. If you don't have some input, either right or wrong, that could be whether it's impactful or helpful, then let them people be. Because dudes who can no longer play, who want to make jokes about something that is incredibly serious, are absolute clowns.
Stephen Jackson made his position clear, and while Ryan Clark has said things I agree with, this is one area where I have to push back. His argument is that if his daughter trained for basketball and then had to compete for a position against someone born male, the physical advantages could still matter even when the skill level is equal. The point is not that those physical advantages automatically mean greater basketball skill, but that the difference in physical attributes can be significant enough to change what happens on the court. That is why he believes Royce White and Enes Kanter are not simply making random arguments, because he sees the issue as something that could directly affect the product people are watching. And his concern is that fans who have only recently started supporting the WNBA could lose interest if these controversies become bigger than basketball. He was blunt about his own position, saying he does not want to watch a man playing in the WNBA and does not think men should compete against the women in the league. At the same time, he acknowledged how much the players have done to build the WNBA and how long they worked before finally receiving better compensation. He brought up the early days of the league, remembering campaigns like the one involving Coop and Dawn Staley, encouraging people to join in and support the WNBA. He also remembered Cheryl Swoops appearing in a sports magazine around the time she was involved with promoting tennis shoes. His point was that he has followed the WNBA from the beginning, so he knows this league has been built through years of effort from the players. That's why he does not want issues involving white privilege or transgender participation to become the identity of the league. He believes players can absolutely use their platforms to speak about these subjects, but not at the expense of the basketball itself. The fight for better revenue sharing and more money is something he supports because the players worked toward that for years. Now that some players are making six figures and others have seven-figure contracts, he sees that progress as something worth celebrating. But turning the WNBA into a Caitlin Clark, white privilege, and transgender debate, in his view, could hurt the product people are supposed to be watching. He also made a distinction between adults making their own personal decisions and whether those decisions should carry over into competitive sports. His argument is that grown people can live their lives however they choose, but he does not believe someone should transition and then move up through women's competition without considering the physical differences involved. He referenced a California high school track case where a transgender girl had been ranked #1 while other girls had trained just as hard, using that as an example of why he believes the playing field would not necessarily be equal. And he rejected the idea of comparing an unathletic person against an athletic girl proves the competition is fair, because he is talking about situations where the training and athletic ability are otherwise equal. He even compared the whole argument to Joanna Mann, saying it feels like people are treating that movie scenario as though it has become a real question for competitive sports. So now the bigger issue is whether the WNBA's problems are actually being created by outside criticism, or whether the league is allowing its own controversies to take over the conversation. And while Ryan Clark is defending the league's image, and Stephen Jackson is saying what he believes many people are unwilling to say publicly, the basketball itself is getting pushed into the background. Kelsey Mitchell is going off, Kayla McBride has hit 10 threes, and the Valkyries are sitting in second place as an expansion team, yet none of that is dominating the conversation. That's the frustrating part, because the women spent years fighting to build this league and reach this point, and now the attention is being swallowed by controversy instead of what is happening on the court. So where do you stand on it? Is the WNBA actually being protected right now, or is all of this damaging the league? Let me know your honest answer in the comments, and if you believe common sense needs to return to the WNBA conversation, hit that like button and let the algorithm know this is a discussion people want to see.